So you've got the results for your thesis or your short study, but you're not sure which statistical test fits. Let me break this down and make it easy for you. There are exactly 5 steps to go about this. And in the first step, you identify with the kind of data that you have. See if it is numbers or if it's data present in categories. If it is numbers, you will end up mostly performing a parametric test to assess them. And if it is data in categories, you will need the help of non-parametric tests. The second kind of data that you need to be collecting and making in your thesis or short study is descriptive statistics, which is basically going to talk about the mean, percentages, or average values. You will need this data to plot graphs. Third step would be to identify if you're running comparisons in your aims and objectives of your study. This would contribute towards inferential statistics, wherein you'll, again, depending on the kind of data that you're collecting, you'll run normality tests. And once you know if you're going to be running parametric or non-parametric tests, you then end up deciding the kind of test that you will be using. For example, you may be doing a comparison between two groups or three or more groups. Here again, if let's say you're doing a comparison between two groups, what you will need clarification on is if this comparison is happening in the same group before and after the intervention, or if you're comparing two groups at the same time. The same also needs to be clarified for if you're comparing data from three groups, whether you're comparing the three groups at the same time or if you're comparing one group at 3 time intervals or more. Fourth important step would be to understand if you're assessing any kind of a relationship between two variables in your study, then the kind of tests you will need to run are called correlation. Again, depending on the kind of data that you have at hand, you will either run a parametric correlation, which is known as Pearson's correlation, or a non-parametric correlation, which is known as Spearman's correlation. Lastly, you will make a note of the p-value that you'll observe running all of these tests in your thesis or short study, where if you observe a p-value of 0.05 and less, it'll tell you that the observed effect is real. And if it is more than 0.05, that the observed effect could just have happened by chance. I hope this helps.